What is going on, Weekend Hangover crew? This is your boy Preach bringing y'all another episode. Today we're going to talk about fantasy football. Regular season's right around the corner. We're about to hit week 3 of the preseason. And if you already drafted for your fantasy football, that sucks for you. I wouldn't draft outside before week 3 of the preseason. I just have to see what the starters can bring to the table before I decide to draft. But with that being said, the main thing before making your team, before deciding who you're going to take or anything of that nature, please make sure you know what the point value is. Whether it's a PPR league, whether it's half PPR, whether it's a point per rush, whether it's 6 points for a passing touchdown or 4 points for a passing touchdowns. 6 points for a rushing touchdown or 4 points for a rushing touchdown. Whether it's, you get 5 points for every 50 yards or a point for every 50 yards. Just know what you're getting yourself into. That is the most important thing. Know what you're getting yourself into before you decide to draft. Because otherwise, you can go out and try to grab one of the best running backs and all this kind of stuff. Whether it could be, Ezekiel Elliott. But then if you're in a points per reception league, which is a PPR, you missed out on someone like McCaffrey, who probably get more points after it's all said and done because he does get points per reception. Or another receiver, you can go out and get someone like a Tyreek Hill, who's going to put up some touchdowns, put up some yards, but not put up receptions. Comparing him to someone like Jarvis Landry, who's going to get you a ton of points because he's getting you those receptions per game. So he's going to give you more points per, every single game. And to me, you can get Jarvis way later than you would have to jump up and get someone like a Tyreek Hill. So before you do any player scouting or anything like that, or start to listen to anybody's, antics, starting to, do mock drafts or anything of that nature, just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into with the points per receptions. Now, I've watched a lot of ESPN mock drafts, Roto World mock drafts, just trying to see what people are, behind their thought process of what they're taking, who they're taking, all that kind of nonsense. And I tell you what, I am really confused over what these people are thinking or of what these people are saying. They have Kyle Murray as, I believe, the 4th quarterback off the board. Now, it was in later rounds, which we'll get into that in a second about taking quarterbacks late, which is in a later round. But you took him over someone of a caliber of Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, who, by the way, Drew Brees is just a constant fantasy god. But you took him over 2 people of that nature. I don't understand that. Also, someone like Melvin Gordon, who's going really early in a lot of mock drafts. Don't understand the thought process behind that because of the off-the-field issue. And on top of that, he doesn't do anything special. He scores touchdowns, yes, but he doesn't put up the yards. He doesn't do too much per game is what I look at. And that's a huge thing to me. Yes, you could, probably win me one week, but I'm looking for you to every game be a factor on my team. And I don't see that with Melvin Gordon, and that's why I wouldn't take him early. People are talking about his ceiling. I've seen his ceiling plenty of times. His ceiling is being hurt. That's his ceiling. Especially to someone as far as Joe Mixon, who is on a bad roster, but still put up pretty decent yards and is probably the best target out there, especially with AJ Green fighting off his injuries. But that's just me. Now, another tip I'm going to give out is for tight ends and quarterbacks. Do not worry about spending a first round or second round or third or fourth, even a 5th round pick on a quarterback. I understand Patrick Mahomes is out there. I understand all that kind of good stuff. You want the 50 touchdowns and, massive points. Tight ends, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I want Kittle, I want Ertz. I I get that. But from my experience of playing fantasy football, especially this year, is a high year for quarterbacks. There is a ton of quarterbacks out there that you could just wait for in later rounds. You don't need, like I said just a couple minutes ago, people are jumping on Kyle Murray, and you have someone like Drew Brees that you can get in the 9th and 10th round. That's somebody I would jump on, later on. Same with the tight ends. Now, there is probably roughly three big name tight ends that I can say that people are going to jump out for, whether it's Kittle, Ertz, or Kelsey. So I will basically pass on jumping up to getting them, maybe in the 3rd, 4th round if you have a chance to jump on them. But I wouldn't jump out there for another tight end. I don't just say, oh, hey, I'm going to pass over someone like Lamar Miller or Mark Ingram just to jump on a tight end. Just because I do believe those two players will have more value in a tight end, especially since you can grab a tight end as a later pick and just work with it from there. Tight ends are a evolving, door every week. But that's just another tip to give out with the quarterbacks and the tight ends. The way I like to do it is because I think the running back is a hard dying breed. Is I like to go for running backs the first 2 rounds just because it is hard to get a running back in later rounds that you're going to get a high points per value for. So actually grabbing a running back is basically live or die by the season. You got to pick one that's going to be healthy. That's the main thing. If your running back gets hurt, you're pretty much done unless you could somehow sneak one off the waiver wire or a trade. So basically going after a healthy running back is the main thing. A running back, try not to grab running back by committees, obviously. But you want, like I said, pay attention to your points per receptions also. I've seen a couple of leagues where QBs, you get a point per every completion, half a minus point per, incompletion. Those type of leagues, now I'm going to tell you right now, if you are in one of those leagues, you are going to have a difficult time because I do believe quarterback is going to be the best bet in that league. So you're going to see quarterbacks go out there healthy, but you usually don't see those type of leagues anymore. So like I said, I think running backs is the main thing to go after. After that, you kind of want to throw in the wide receivers and all this kind of stuff. So if you're asking me for my opinion on the late round running backs, if you happen to miss out on them, I see Mark Ingram going 5th round, who I absolutely love. Another one, Lamar Miller. I'm not as quite, huge on Lamar Miller, but that is a starting running back that I've seen probably 8th, 9th round that is going. So those are 2 guys I would really take advantage of. And if you are absolutely struggling on a running back and need one super late, Adrian Peterson, I saw go in 12th round to undrafted. Matter of fact, a lot of my skins pretty much went undrafted, and there's a good reason behind it. But Adrian Peterson is a back that can hold it for a flex spot and anything like that. Wouldn't want him as a running back 1 or RB2 or anything like that. But as a flex spot coming in, getting you week to week, I would take that. But if there's any other questions, drop down in the comment. We'll try to drop another video letting you know mock draft scenarios that I would go for. And if you like the video, always throw a thumbs up. And if you want to be a part of the Weekend Hangover crew, subscribe to us. And until the next vid, see ya.